Budgeting for jobs, skilling and economic revival. Budgeting for jobs, skilling and economic revival. The context is this article speaks about the changes that needs to be introduced in the upcoming budget to provide the direction to India fluttering economy and boost to aggregate the demand and investment. A key stats if we look at unemployment rate was 6.1%. It's a decade high growth in 45 years since the financial year 2017-18. The rate of urban youth in 15 to 29 years category is alarming high at 22.5%. The labor force participation rate has come down to 46.5% for the 15-year and the above age category. It is down to 37.7% for the urban youth. Even among those employed, a large faction get low wages and are stuck with employment poverty. Well, the structural factors include the prolonged and the ongoing slowdown is the main reason behind the depressing employment scenario. Though several structural factors have also contributed to the situation, the GDP growth for the second quarter of the financial year 2019 to 20 is 45%, the lowest in the last 6 years, for which a decline in the private consumption and investment are the factors primarily responsible. The aggregate demand stands at less than 30% of the GDP, at a rate much lower than the 15-year average of 35%. The private consumption, which contributes nearly 55 to 60% to the India's GDP, have been slowing down. Savings by the household sector, which are used to extend the loans for investment, have gone down by 35% to 17.2% in fiscal year 2018. Budget should focus on reviving the demand to promote growth and employment. Schemes like PM Kisan and Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act (MNREGA) are good instruments to boost the rural demand. Farmers and landless laborers spend most of their income. This means that income transfers to such groups will immediately increase the demand. Further, rural India consumes a wide range of goods and services, so if allocation and disbursement is raised significantly, most sectors and the economy will benefit and the payoff will be immediate. Rural employment can be reduced by Rural unemployment can be reduced by raising the budgetary allocation for the irrigation projects and the rural infrastructure like roads and cold storage and logistical chains. These facilities, along with the comprehensive crop insurance scheme, and drastically increase the agricultural productivity and farmers' income. Moreover, by integrating farms and mandis, such investments will reduce the wastage of fruits and vegetables, thereby leading to decrease in frequency inflationary stocks and their impact. Boosting urban employment in urban areas, construction and related activities are a source of employment for more than 5 crore people across the country. The sector's employment figures are second only to those of agricultural sector. These projects, along with the infrastructure support, 200 odd sectors, including core sectors like cement and steel. What are the issues with the real estate sector? Due to the crisis in the real estate and infrastructure sectors, construction activities have come to grinding halt. At present, many real estate projects are caught up in legal disputes between home buyers and developers, between lenders and the developers, and between the developers and the law enforcement agencies, like in the Enforcement Directorate. The sector has an unsold inventory of homes worth 7 lakh crores. Even worse, multiple authorities, the Real Estate Regulatory Authority (RERA) and the National Company Law Tribunal (NCLT) and the many consumer courts have the jurisdiction over such disputes. Consequently, restructuring and liquidation of the bad projects is very difficult and in turn is the main source of the problem of non-performing assets faced by the non-banking financial companies. How to revive the demand for the housing sector? The budget can raise the limit for availing tax exemption on the home loans. The 25,000 crore fund set up by the center to bail out 1600 housing projects should be put use immediately. The funds should be used to salvage all the projects that are 80% complete and not under liquidation process under NCLT. Several additional measures can also help. For example, there should be a single adjudication authority. The multiplier effects of spending on infrastructure and housing in terms of the higher growth and employment are large and extensive. Therefore, 1 or 2 lakh crore national infrastructure pipeline project is a welcome step. Action plan for the future. More than 60% of the planned investment is expected from the private sector and the states. The private sector, many infrastructure projects are languishing due to the regulatory hurdles and contractual disputes between the construction companies and government departments. As a result, infrastructure investment has come to be perceived as very risky. This is a major reason behind the non-availability of the private capital for infrastructure. The government should standardize the regulatory uncertainty. The state finances are shaky due to the low GST collection on the onus of the center to ensure that the program does not come into a cropper. The budgetary support to the infrastructure will have to be much more than the NIP projection at 1.11% of the GDP. Bidding and contracting of a new roads, highways, rail tracks, and urban development projects is a lengthy process. This is also the reason why several infrastructure linked ministries, like those of civil aviation and roads, have not been able to spend the money allocated to them in the current fiscal year. Therefore, rather than earmarking the budgetary support for the new projects, the focus should be on the projects that are currently under the implementation so as to complete them as soon as possible. In addition to creating employment, a timely completion of infrastructure projects will help increase the competitiveness of the economy. The distress among the small and medium scale enterprises is another area of concern. For many product produced by these enterprises (MSMEs), the GST rates are higher for inputs than the final goods. Due to this anomaly, around 20,000 crore gets stuck with the government annually in the form of input tax credit. This has increased the cost of doing business for the small and medium sector enterprises, which employ over 11 crore people. Next, according to some estimates, there are more than 22 lakh vacancies in various government departments. Such negligence is baffling when the unemployment among youth is very high. The government should fill these vacancies. Job openings that arise in private sector put a premium on practical skills and work experience. So the government should provide affordable and good quality vocational training programs so as they can recruit into the private sector. The budget should give tax incentives to the companies and industry. The budget should also give the tax incentives to the companies and industrial units to encourage them to provide internships and the on-site vocational training opportunities. In conclusion, it is a high time these reforms are introduced in the upcoming budget to give boost to the multiple sectors in the economy. National Infrastructure Pipeline Project. It is estimated that India would need to spend around 4.5 trillion on infrastructure by 2030 to sustain its growth rate. The endeavor of the National Infrastructure Pipeline Project is to make this happen in an efficient manner. The NIP will enable a forward outlook on infrastructure projects which will create jobs, improve ease of living, and provide equitable access to all infrastructure for all, and thereby making growth more inclusive.